Happy New Year, everybody. The sound of ListenABLE returns in 2023. The dulcet tones of Angus O'Loughlin and the gravelly, dark, deep voice of Dylan Alcott.
G'day, everyone. Happy 2023.
Do you know you don't have to put on the voice? You don't have to deepen it. That was the whole point, is your voice as a whole.
I'll do it again. G'day, everyone. Happy 2023. Oh, yeah, it sounds better as well.
There you go.
Good point.
This episode is special. Dylan and I are recording this in 2022, but this episode is different because Dylan and I aren't hosting it, even though we're doing the intro for it.
Yeah.
This is an idea that we had a little while ago, Dylan, where we were talking about, we try and get everyone's lived experience with disability, but how do we let young adults, kids, talk about their experience, and how do we as hosts kind of fit in that?
Yeah, we were like, let's kick off the new year by getting some good hosts, is what we really thought.
That's true.
And then we thought, how can we do that? And look, we were not surprised, but I think pretty stoked to figure out how many kids, especially like young teenage vibe as well, listen to our podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Because they found, not just able-bodied kids, but kids with disability found it was so great way for them to advocate, on their behalf. And we're like, stuff that. We don't want to just advocate on behalf. We want them to advocate for themselves sometimes as well, empower their voice and their lived experience to get heard. So that's why we came up with the idea for this episode, which is ListenABLE Kids, where you're going to hear kids' voices. But as I said, we got the flick. It's going to be hosted by a younger person as well.
Yep, that's right. Kyra emailed us. She lives in Perth, and she had emailed us just something saying, hey, thank you so much. I listen every week, and this podcast means a lot to me. And then Dylan and I had discussed this idea about ListenABLE Kids, and I said, well, what do you think about hosting? And she was nervous. Her mum's on side. We organised it a few months ago, and we had her chat to two incredible guests with disability. The first one that you're going to hear from is 10-year-old Enzo. Now, Enzo lives in South Australia, and he's very special. And I mean special in the fact of this guy is a superstar. He's an online YouTube sensation in his own words, but he also has Progeria, and he is it's a very rare condition and disability, and he describes it very well with the ListenABLE Kids host, Kyra. Well, Kyra, the truth is when you get such an awesome person, such as yourself, emailing such an awesome email, it's very hard to say no. So the idea was, you'd love to amplify your voice about your disability and educate people around you in Perth about your story. But you also had a bit of an interest in letting other people, kids, tell their stories as well.
Yeah, because as a teenager listening to your podcast, I loved it, but some of the topics that you discuss with the adults, like, for instance, like sex and stuff, I'm not into that at the moment. So I was like, why not get kids on the podcast so that they can share their insights of disability and what they're interested in and what their challenges are, because it's quite different to what adults' challenges are.
Absolutely. And my deepest and sincerest apologies for those discussions.
And I don't mind those conversations about sex and stuff, because I respect that it is a challenge for some people, and that's the whole point of your podcast, is showing the challenges of what people have to do with their disability and stuff.
So what about for you? Can you tell me, you're going to be the host of this episode, but can you let us know a little bit about yourself? How old are you?
I'm 14, nearly 15.
Okay, and so for you at your age, obviously born with cerebral palsy, it is it's physical. Is it, I hope you don't mind me asking, is it deteriorating? Will it always remain the same? How has that discovery been?
It's always the same, but I do have to do therapy every day, just to I do an hour of standing in a frame to keep my bones strong and keep my muscles in my legs strong and all that kind of stuff. But it won't deteriorate, but I do have to keep doing therapy to make sure that I maintain what strength I've got, because my CP, can I use medical terms? So I have spastic diplegia GMFCS level 4, which is basically, the GMFCS levels are just the classifications of how severe CP is. So I am the second most severe level that you can get, which means I have very little strength in my legs, and my arms are also affected, but they're not as badly affected. So that's what diplegia is, which is the other, like the type of CP that I have. And then the spasticity in my muscles, that's why it's called spastic diplegia. It just means that my muscles get really shaky when I'm nervous and excited. And like if I'm trying super hard to do something, I like start shaking, and if my muscles go too tight, they start hurting as well. But then if I'm hurting, I spasm more. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle of spasming and hurting, but that's okay. Like you can, I don't know if you can tell now, but I am kind of spasming because I'm a bit nervous.
Oh, sorry to make you feel nervous. We don't want that. But I, to be honest, I couldn't and I can't tell.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's my type of CP. And yeah.
So we're going to have you host this episode of ListenABLE Kids. You're going to have two incredible guests on this podcast, a very special version of you speaking to other like-minded and aged individuals about different disabilities. And they're very different to your disability as well. But before we get into those, how do you feel about yourself with disability? You know, Dylan talks about how it took him quite a little while to, you know, find that love for himself and his disability. Are you there yet? I mean, you seem so confident in wanting to talk about it, but, you know, tell me what it's like for you.
So until I was about 11, I kind of didn't care about my disability, but like I just didn't notice it, and I just kind of blended into everyone else, and I had like all my friends and family and everyone's amazing, so they made sure that I had all the opportunities I could to be a normal kid. And then when I was in year 6, I suddenly went, hey, I want to walk by myself by the end of the year at my year 6 graduation in front of everyone. And a lot of people, when I told them, they were like, they never actually said, you won't be able to do that. But they were all kind of like nicely trying to say that I was being way too ambitious, because obviously being in an electric wheelchair full time, I am nowhere near the point of walking by myself. And so a lot of people were like, yeah, like your brain might, like you have the determination to, but your body might not agree with you. But that was kind of when I first realized that I was like, that I wanted to change who I was, and that I didn't want to be in a wheelchair. And then last year I had a bit of mental health struggles as well, with like kind of the same thing. I just wanted to walk and I didn't want to be in a wheelchair my whole life, and all I could think about was like the fact that I couldn't walk and that I'd probably always be in a wheelchair and all that kind of thing. But then yeah, I kind of got through that, and now I'm super proud to be who I am, and I wouldn't change anything about me.
Wow, at the age of nearly 15, that's pretty incredible. You know, I know from obviously doing the podcast, and you know, you hear it as well. Dylan said it took a lot longer to kind of learn that for him. So I'm sure you're going to have some more struggles along the way, as everybody does, able-bodied or not. So yeah, it's certainly just something, one of those things you're going to go through. That's
It's the age as well. Like it's going through the dreaded puberty that no one wants to go through.
And what about for you? So please tell me if you're not comfortable talking about this, but I had a bully when I was in school, and I also bullied, not to a harsh extent, but I still remember one example when I was in year 11 at school, and I stood by while I knew something was going to happen to another student who didn't deserve it, and I just idly stood by and I laughed. I think about that often. Whenever something gets brought up about my school, I always think about that moment. But for you, how do you go with school? Are kids kinder in, 20 years after I've graduated, are kids kinder? How is it with your friendship group?
Um, no, I am very lucky. All of my friends are amazing. All of my teachers are amazing. All of my education assistants that I have are amazing. No one has tried to bully me. It's actually quite funny because I'll be driving along the path in my wheelchair, and if kids are in the way, they'll start yelling at their friends. They'll be like, "Oi, get off the path, you idiot," and stuff like that. And sometimes they'll say other words that I won't repeat, but um, it's actually quite funny, and it's good though that they know to like move out the way, and most of them are aware. Like obviously you have the odd people that walk in front of you and you have to like stop, otherwise you're going to run them over, but like majority of the kids are really nice and they get out the way and stuff, so it's really good. I've never really, I know I'm very lucky to not have experienced any bullying, but yeah.
I don't think it's that you should feel lucky, right? I think it's just some people are unlucky, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I know this is very nerdy and I know a lot of statistics around disability because I've researched a lot, but I think 80% of people with a disability get bullied. So I do feel lucky. Like I know it's kind of the other way around, that other people might be unlucky, but still I know, like that's with my disability in general. Like I know that there could have been other outcomes. Like with CP, I could have been nonverbal, or I could have had an intellectual disability or something like that. So I think having a disability has led me to feel more grateful for what I do have rather than what I don't have, if that makes sense.
Awesome to hear. And that actually also makes total sense. So tell me about this research you did for ListenABLE for the guest that you're about to interview. Can you give us a little bit of an insight? What was the last couple of weeks' preparation?
Well, your producer Amelia sent me some information, and she also sent me some ideas for questions that I could ask. So thanks to her for kind of helping me with that. But she sent me like links to their social media and stuff like that. So I did read up some things about them and try and make up some of my own questions to interview them with as well.
Yeah, I think the questions that we sent through are more of a guide of what ListenABLE has asked in the past. It's sort of, stock questions of what we ask, but questions that we know get good answers. But I think it's also really important for people to know that we also told you this is your time, your spotlight. We want to hear two young adults having a conversation about disability. We don't want to be adults directing that conversation. So I guess we sort of sent you those conversations as a guide, but also just to make you feel a bit more comfortable. We would have been very happy for you to ask any question that you want. Nothing is off limits, and please just discard ours in the bin if you didn't like them. All right, we're very excited to let people hear this episode and hear the incredible Kyra dominate this podcast. The floor is yours. We can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Thanks for emailing us to say that you appreciate us. We appreciate you tenfold back in return, and we can't wait for people to hear these next episodes.
Hey Enzo, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about you.
Yes. So, my name is Enzo. I am 10 years old and I'm in year 5 at Summers Memorial School.
Nice.
I am
Do you
the
like
only
school?
known Progeria kid in Australia. Progeria is a genetic condition that accelerates aging in children. Progeria affects 1 in 20 million worldwide. So I'm pretty popular. Because of that, I love being popular.
Nice. Do you enjoy going to school?
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you get extra help for your disability?
Yeah, I sometimes get support.
Cool. Can you tell me a bit about the support that you get?
I sometimes go on beach walk with my friends, and I have to be on a wheelchair because I get tired.
Oh, yeah.
So I normally just go in a wheelchair.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's your favourite subject?
My favorite subject is STEM. STEM, L of Code, and Art.
Nice. I used to do STEM. Isn't that like science and maths and stuff?
STEM looks similar to science, but I remember last year we were like using like these like Lego stuff, but they have a little motor inside them.
Cool.
Like, you know, these little engine motors on guys, and they move by themselves.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we were doing that last year.
That's cool.
My partner was Tyler on there. My friend Tyler. He was my partner on there. And also we get to name it.
That's cool.
Yeah, we named
Speaking
it
of
Travis
friends-
Scott.
That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Speaking of friends, how do your friends react to your disability? Do they like helping you and stuff?
We just mostly play and talk.
Yeah, that's cool. You have a foundation with your parents that raises awareness for progeria, don't you?
Yeah. Because I like to raise awareness, because I just don't want people to be staring at me.
Yeah, I get what that's like. So can you tell me about like some of the stuff that your foundation does?
We also run like some events.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, my favorite event
What
on the
events
Team Enzo thing is City to Bay.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, so I just normally participate in the 6 kilometers one. So first, you just have to try and make it to the end.
Nice.
So first on the start, I'm just on my wheelchair, but at the end, I just run very fast at the end.
Yeah, that's cool. And you got to go to America to do some stuff about progeria, didn't you?
Yeah. I went to the
What was that
USA
like?
one.
What was that like? Was it fun?
Yes. So what we did at the USA, we went to Disneyland so I could have a rest.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you go on like the rides there?
Yeah. My favorite one's the car racing one.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. I'm mostly in the middle because I don't want to fall off the car.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the photos, I was like a kid that was literally like not in the middle. It was crazy.
Yeah. And you are part of you got to be part of a documentary, didn't you?
Yeah, the documentaries embrace kids.
What was that like to do? Was it fun?
Yes. Most of the people over there just do not like their bodies, except for me. I like my body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the trailer as well.
I watched the trailer as well. It was epic. My favorite parts on there are just me.
Yeah. You were pretty cool.
Yes.
Are you excited for it to come out in cinemas?
Yeah, I already watched the whole documentary movie on the cinemas.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yes! My favorite part's when I was saying like, hello, my name is Enzo, like on one of my videos, and guess what? On one of my videos that were like last year, I had 72 subs, but now I have 156 subs.
Nice.
Yeah.
What other interests do you have other than like school and stuff?
I have a YouTube channel.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I used to have 72 subscribers on there last year, but now I have 156.
That's cool. That's a lot of people subscribing.
Yes.
What kind of stuff do you put on there?
I put like gaming experiments that I hadn't make an experiment yet, and funny videos.
Nice.
I
Do you
also
like
customize
gaming
the
then?
description on the about stuff, and I just spelled and more.
Nice. Do you like gaming then?
Yes, I like to game a lot, but And guess what? I remember last year I managed to make like keyframe animations.
Nice.
And then I start uploading keyframe animations more often.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I saw on your Instagram that you have an electric scooter.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yes.
You seemed really excited when you got it.
Yeah. So why I got the electric scooter, I used to have a green scooter and green was my favorite color, but I have a yellow electric scooter because there was no green ones. But guess what? Why I got the electric scooter is just so I could keep up with my friends because I mostly get tired.
Oh, yeah. So it helps you be faster and stuff.
Yes.
That's cool. You seemed very happy about it in the photos. What therapy and treatment do you have to do for your condition?
So how my treatment is, I just normally just take like medications.
Oh, yeah.
Medications and vitamins. So I can maintain my health.
That's good.
And
Do
also,
you have to do any like therapy as well?
yes.
What kind of therapy do you have to do?
I sometimes do like hydro. I do hydro. And also I have an OT to help me with the daily challenge because I started using the shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Last year I kept on using Velcro, but last year will be the last year of me using Velcro. And this year I'm using shoelaces.
That's cool. So you learnt to tie your shoelaces then?
I just use lock laces because how I do my shoelaces I always need help, but I have lock laces and it looks way easier.
Yeah, that's good that you can have something that makes it easier for you.
Yeah.
What about hydro? Do you like doing hydro?
Yeah, I do swimming there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel?
Happy and also relaxed.
Yeah, because the water's warm, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And also I do speech.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I get distracted very easily.
Yeah.
And also I do physical therapy to keep me healthy.
Yeah.
And also I sometimes have psychology with Anne-Marie. Like I sometimes have sessions with Anne-Marie. Yeah. And her pet dog. She has a pet dog named Baloo.
Do you like her dog?
Yeah.
Is it friendly?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. I also sometimes go to the hospital just so I can have some regular appointment with doctors. I do cardiologies, metabolic clinic, and neurologies, and renal unit. And also I sometimes do with the MOA, that thing, that little donut thing, and you just like going in.
I don't really know, but that sounds like a lot of big words and complex.
That bed thing, like where you lie down, and then you get pushed into this little massive thing that looks like a donut. These things.
I haven't been in one of them, but I think I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I've been in one of these. It looks like I was traveling.
Yeah.
And also, I sometimes wear like some glasses on my eyes just so I could watch like some movies on there.
Oh, yeah. So, Enzo, I think this might be one of the last questions that I ask you. What would your advice be for other kids with disabilities if they're listening to this?
So the message that I say is be happy, always smile, and enjoy life.
That's a really good message. I think a lot of people should live by that.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much to Enzo and Kyra, of course, our host. But it doesn't end there for this episode of ListenABLE Kids. We actually connected Kyra up with another little legend and superstar and future podcast host, Beau Cosgrove. Now, Beau caught our attention because Beau is 11 years old. He has a syndrome which he's going to explain in the episode, but that hasn't held him back. He is a bull rider, and not like one of those mechanical ones you find at a saloon bar, a real life bull rider at the age of 11. And this is his conversation with Kyra on ListenABLE Kids.
Hey, Beau.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
To start off, can you explain a bit of your disability to me and tell me a bit about yourself?
I have MPS 4 type A, which something's inside me sticks to my organs and bones, and I can't do what normal people can do.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty rare, isn't it, your condition?
Yeah, only a few people have it in Australia.
How does that make you feel? Do you feel like unique because you're one of the only people, or?
Yeah, unique.
And you live in a pretty remote town, don't you?
Yeah, small town. I live in Traralgon, New South Wales, and it's west from Goulburn.
Is it pretty like rural and remote, or is it like near the city?
It's a country town.
Do you find it hard to access the services that you need for your disability, or is it okay?
It's okay sometimes.
And you have siblings, don't you?
Yes. 4.
How do they all react to your disability?
They are very helpful and very annoying in some ways, including my sister.
Siblings can get annoying sometimes, can't they?
Yeah, very annoying with my sister.
But it's good that they still help you.
Yeah, they help me a lot.
That's nice. What about school? How does schooling work for you?
We have a bus that that has a ramp which will fold out and then you just drive on. And then there's 4 thingies like hooks and they just hook on for some like whole like little zeros which are that big. And I have a walker, a teacher's aid, and a lot of friends.
Yeah, I used to go on a bus to school, and it used to be similar how you drive on and then they hook you in, like you were saying with the 4 hooks. Do they attach to your wheelchair?
Yeah, and it attaches to the bus.
Yeah, I had a similar thing when I went on the school bus. And you like bull riding, yeah? You're a professional bull rider?
Not a professional. I've been doing it since 8 or 7.
That's still a couple of years though. Can you explain how you support your disability? What kind of stuff is put in place?
There's 2 men, or there's supposed to be 2 men on each side of the animal, which will help me get ready and hold me as I'm coming out. And the bull should just go like that, kind of. And then there's 1 or 2 people holding the tail so it doesn't bark or kick.
Oh yeah. Is bull riding fun?
Yes, very fun.
That's cool. And you also like rugby, yeah?
Yeah,
You're a
rugby.
fan of rugby?
Yeah. I got into rugby union because my dad and my brother played in it. And I used to play with it but touch.
Yeah, that's cool. And you got to be the coach or the assistant coach for one of was it like the university team or something?
Yeah, it was the University of New South Wales, I think. Or Sydney. Yeah, Sydney.
That's cool. Was that fun? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, very fun.
So you're pretty active then and you like doing sports stuff?
Yeah.
I saw in a video, do you have a running frame or a frame runner?
Yes, I do. Yeah, frame runner.
Is that what you call it? Because I've heard them being called race runners as well.
Yeah, we call them race runners.
Nice. I have one as well, and I love running in mine. Do you
We-
like yours?
Yeah, mine has red, a lot of red on it, but we haven't used it in like a month, I think.
Yeah, I haven't used mine in a while either. But red's the fast color, right? It's going to make you go fast.
Yeah, or green.
Yeah, mine's orange too, so they're pretty similar. Make you go fast.
It's like Flash. Gotta go fast.
Do you like raising awareness for your disability? Do you like telling people about it and explaining what it is?
Sometimes people can be a little hurtful of my feelings.
Oh, that's not good. But there's more people that are nice than mean, right?
Yeah, like my whole class.
Yeah, and I have one last question for you. So, if you could tell any kid with a disability any advice that you have on like how they should live life or something, what would you tell them?
This is what our dad used to say when we cry or something. Never give up, never surrender.
That's
And
really
stay
good
strong.
advice. Yeah, gotta stay
Sometimes-
strong, don't you?
Yeah, sometimes he jokes about it sometimes when we tackle him.
That's cool. That's really good advice.
No problem. Gotta go fast.
That was awesome, wasn't it? I
Awesome.
absolutely love that. And we're doing that again this year. That's not a one-off. That was so cool to hear that. And unfortunately for everybody else that listens to our podcast, there are 2 oversized grown children back hosting next week, isn't it?
That's true. Yes.
Which is us.
On the next episode,
I think we might be out of a job. We might be out of a job after that, mate. That was very good.
well, it's going to sound a little bit different on the next episode or next 2 episodes of ListenABLE again, because it's actually the episodes we recorded before New Year's. So on December 29th, we went to Beyond the Valley, a music festival in Victoria, and we had 2 incredible guests join us on stage in front of a live audience. And you're going to hear James Parr, who's an amputee and model, on the next episode of ListenABLE. But yes, a big tick of approval for ListenABLE kids. A huge thank you to Kyra, Beau, and Enzo. And if you want to be a part of this, if you're listening, you're a young adult, you want to host this show, maybe later on in the year we can give you the opportunity as well. So make sure you email us, listenable@fromyourpocket.com.au.
Thanks for supporting us, everyone. Make sure you give us a subscribe. See you soon.